lads, welcome back to another video. This one is going to be mainly talking about Dunfermline and the game coming up at this weekend. Of course, these type of videos were meant to kind of sway off for the Dunfermline topics after the new year had kicked in, but this weekend I didn't really have much else to talk about. I've looked at the fixtures and stuff like that. There isn't really a high priority fixture for me to speak about, so I'm just going to speak about the Dunfermline stuff because at the end of the day we have actually made our first January signing, which I didn't make a video on specifically, but this is going to be my chance to kind of have a bit more of a say on it than I did at the end of Punt It Long the other day, where obviously we hadn't actually signed Ryan Scully at that point and we signed him yesterday. So this is where I'm going to have my say on that kind of signing, what I think should happen this weekend and what I think going into the game against Morton. And then at the end I'm going to give my predictions for all of the games in the Spfl this weekend from Premiership to League 2. So enjoy the video. So as you know, we're heading into this weekend's game to play Morton, and it's two teams that really have had kind of bang average seasons, way below what they would have hoped for this season. Morton are obviously ahead of us in the league, but if you ask any of their fans, they're not exactly confident going into any game at the moment. Despite the fact they only beat Ross County 1-0 a few weeks ago at the start of the year, it's kind of just been a bit of a really bad roller coaster, I suppose, because obviously Ray McKinnon came in at the start of the season and they were on fire really. They were near enough at the top of the league at the start of the season, and then obviously he left. Jonathan Johansson came in. I think he came in for Rangers at that point, if I'm correct in saying that, and obviously it hasn't really hit the ground running for him, let's just say that, and the results haven't been what Morton would have hoped for. They brought in a lot of players in the summer and brought in players that they thought could really kick them on, and they have kind of stayed in the same sort of position that I suppose you'd expect of Morton. They're always going to be kind of floundering about the promotion playoffs, but maybe not just making it there. And last season obviously they finished in a quite similar position to what they currently are this season. Dunfermline, where we are right now, is nothing like what we expected this season, and it's nothing like what happened last season. It's just a case of we're having a really horrendous season, and I don't know, it's just nothing's really clicking. Nothing's clicked really since the first day of the season really, and it's a bit of a shame obviously because it meant Alan Johnson had to lose his job. The squad hasn't performed to the levels that we hoped, and yada yada yada. You've heard all of this before on the channel. There is really no reason for me to keep harbouring over this type of stuff because it's so blatantly obvious what the problems have been this season. And from the change in manager, obviously Stevie Crawford coming in and becoming the head coach, with Greg Shields coming in as his assistant, I wouldn't say a lot's changed. I think a bit of the kind of maybe stuff in training, and we have been more noticeably pressing teams and making sure that we've got numbers when it comes to pressurising players from the opposition. And there has been a slight change where Tom Beadland's been the sitting midfielder and James Vincent and Joe Thompson have kind of took the role of being the more attacking midfielder, which has been the most kind of noticeable change, I suppose, because you would kind of expect James Vincent to be the sitting midfielder and Tom Beadland to maybe be a bit more pushing forward, but Stevie Crawford's went with the opposite, and by the looks of it made James Vincent more of the attacking midfielder in this formation, where it has been more of a sort of 4-1-4-1 and arguably maybe a 4-3-3 in different scenarios as well. Last weekend we went through a couple of formations as well, including those ones I just said. We also tried a 4-4-2 near the end of the game when I think Robbie Muirhead came on. I think he had a bit up front with Callum Higginbotham as his partner, and nothing really worked last week, and that's pretty obvious due to the fact the scoreline, and that was mainly down to the defensive issues. And for all that my thoughts are that the goalie position wasn't exactly a position we needed improvements on, Stevie Crawford went and made the signing of Ryan Scully during the week, and it sparked a lot of controversy amongst Dunfermline fans. Why are we making the signing of a goalkeeper? Why is that the priority when obviously we're struggling to score goals, despite being the team in the Scottish Championship with the most shots and shots on target in the league this season, unbelievably. But when it comes to the signing of Ryan Scully, of course it's raised eyebrows, but the reasoning that Stevie Crawford gave for it was that Lee Robinson is actually on a part-time contract with us and doesn't come in to training earlier on in the week and only arrives into training to train with the first team in Thursday, Friday, the last 2 days of the week I believe. So it's a bit of a strange predicament, and it does kind of give a bit of a strange vibe from Alan Johnson's time that he was allowing his first team goalie to come and do that, especially when he praises Cammy Gill so highly, and he did throughout his full time at Dunfermline, but then he was never willing to give Cammy Gill a chance over a guy who was just able to come in and only train a couple of days a week and still get in ahead of Cammy Gill every single time. So you can understand why Cammy Gill might be frustrated. For anyone that doesn't know who Cammy Gill is, that's obviously our reserve goalie, and that's been the case for Cammy Gill's full time at Dunfermline really. He's never been classed as a first team player, and it must be frustrating for him. And with his contract running up at the end of the season, what will he choose to do in the summer? Because it's going to be a vital decision for him to make. Does he extend his deal here and try his hardest to fight out a first team place despite it looking like it's never really going to come? Or does he go into pastures new and try and kick his career back into shape? Despite Stevie Crawford saying he's going to give youth a chance, he's now not giving Cammy Gill a chance anyway. By the looks of it, it's looking like it's going to be either Scully or Robinson to be our first team goalie for the remainder of this season, and Scully's got an option for a further year now. So we're in a position where we've now got 5 first team goalies at the club, albeit one is Craig Butt, who is the kind of deputy to Cammy Gill, and Sean Murdoch's a long term injury. But it's a lot of goalies to have at a club, and you'd assume that something will happen in the summer or before then to do with the goalies, because to have 5 first team goalies, or goalies in general, at a club, it's kind of a weird predicament. But as far as the game goes this weekend, it will make no real difference on what the result is to where we are positioned in the league table. Of course, if Alloa get a win against Ross County, then they could actually jump ahead of us. But as far as we go, I think we can only really go up to about 6th, maybe 5th, if that. And we can't really go anywhere else in the promotion playoffs or anything like that. We've got a good enough gap below us, and the gap is quite big above us as well, or big enough to not be a significant change this weekend. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm obviously hoping for a Dunfermline win, because Morton, they are really no great shakes, and their last win at East End Park was against Morton, and it was a very comfortable win that day as well. And you could argue earlier on in the season in the away tie at Morton, we should have got the result there as well, if not for Lee Robinson's mistake. Robinson! Robinson, man! Holy Christ! So as I said, hoping for 3 points, and let's just see what happens. You can't really predict what you're going to expect for Dunfermline at this point, so let's just wait and see. So now, as I said at the start of the video, I'm just going to quickly run through the Premiership, Championship, League 1 and League 2 games and give my predictions. Just going to say what team I think will win all of these games. Aberdeen v Kilmarnock, draw. Celtic v Hamilton, Celtic. Dundee v Motherwell, 2-2. I'll go with a scoreline there, but a draw nonetheless. Hearts v St Johnstone, draw. Scottish Championship, Falkirk v Inverness, draw. Morton v Dunfermline, Dunfermline win. Partick Thistle v Queen of the South, draw. Ross County v Alloa, Ross County. A tight game though, because Alloa, they are tricky customers. Arbroath v Forfar, Arbroath. Brechin v Raith Rovers, Raith Rovers. Dumbarton v Montrose, draw. Stenhousemuir v Adrionians, Stenhousemuir. And Stranraer v East Fife, East Fife. In the final league, Scottish League 2, Albion Rovers v Stirling Albion, Stirling Albion. Annan Athletic v Peterhead, Peterhead. Clyde v Cowdenbeath, Clyde. Elgin v Edinburgh City, Edinburgh City. Queen's Park v Berwick, who knows, draw. So there you have it, there's my predictions for this weekend's games. I've ran through the full of them. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can either say a couple of the fixtures, or go hell for leather and say every single fixture and see what ones you can get right. But that's it for this video guys, cheers for watching. If you did enjoy, please give it a like, comment down below anything you think, as I said, your score predictions for this weekend's games, and also subscribe for more of this type of content. Only a couple away for 850 now, cheers for that, and until the next video, the big match tomorrow, I'll see you then. Cheers guys.